The U.S. Fed Vice Chairwoman Brainerd doesn't like what she's seeing in crypto. And we need to talk about it because a lot has been said about crypto regulation. And in particular, a lot has been said about stablecoins. And I've been saying this for quite some time, and I'm not the only one, but many people believe that the US government and many governments across the world are looking at stablecoins first. Why? Well, it's because they're a direct threat to government's currencies, right? Like the US dollar in the United States, stablecoins act like a dollar, right? They're pegged to a dollar, at least some are, unless they're algorithmic stablecoins, which collapse like UST. So let's jump into it and talk about what this means. And again, we've got to stay out in front of this as investors. It's important we have all the necessary information, what the people at the top are saying, so we can best prepare with our investments. So let's dive into this and talk about this article. So here it is. Fed Vice Chairwoman Brainerd doesn't like what she's seeing in crypto. And I've got a couple things. She was recently in London talking about this, by the way. But she said the Fed has been closely monitoring recent events where risks in the system have crystallized and many crypto investors have suffered losses. Insert Terra Luna, insert people who've held assets with Celsius. Now, this is according to a copy of the speech. She also says strong regulatory guardrails will help enable investors and developers to build a resilient digital native financial infrastructure. Strong regulatory guardrails. So this is where the debate comes in, right? How much regulation is too much? Where is the regulation going to impact crypto the most? Will it be on stablecoins first? I personally think that's exactly where it will hit home first. I do think Bitcoin is safe. I think there's a lot of uncertainty, though, around everything else right now. So a lot of people would say, hey, instead of keeping your money in a stablecoin, maybe the most stablecoin of them all is Bitcoin, right? Given the fact that Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC, has already talked about Bitcoin being the only cryptocurrency in his eyes that's a commodity. He thinks everything else is a security. Now, we shall see how this plays out. But again, we want to stay out in front of this. There's a target date for October where Biden has brought together members of the G20, nations around the world, including Russia and China, to talk about global payments, right? One of the big issues happening right now in the cryptocurrency market, and it's been happening for quite some time, is the XRP battle with the SEC, right? XRP's technology allowing for cross-border payments instantaneously. Why was that a big threat? Well, it goes against the banking system. It hits right at home because what happens in the banks? They have control of the money. They have control over how long that money takes to get to various places. They also take fees. They want to get their piece of the pie. When people use crypto, I can easily sit here and send Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano across the pond over into Asia instantaneously within 10 seconds, right? That technology exists, but will it exist in its current form? This is what we're getting into here in this article. So she suggests that all this reinforces the idea that a central bank digital currency from the United States may be an advantage for future financial stability. This has been talked about a lot. Will there be a digital dollar, right? Such a government token could have profound implications for the stablecoin market, no doubt about it. Now, when you currently look at stablecoins, in my opinion, the only stablecoin I am using right now is USDC. Because it is not algorithmic, it is backed by real assets, and Circle, the company behind it, is a legitimate company. Now, every other cryptocurrency that's a stablecoin out there, they've had some issues. They've had some bumps in the road. The DAI coin, which I really liked back in 2021, that briefly got depegged. Tether has always had so many controversies around it. Is it really backed by real assets? It's still an ongoing debate. And then let's not even go into algorithmic stablecoins, which, quite frankly, have been a complete disaster, right? And especially during this downturn in the market. Now, the Senate is soon expected to confirm Michael Barr, President Joe Biden's pick to be the next Fed vice chairman for supervision, who will lead the central bank's regulatory and financial supervision efforts, including how the United States will oversee stablecoins. Again, stablecoin. It keeps coming up in this article. It keeps coming up in all of the news and information I'm seeing. I think this is where the efforts will be focused first when it comes to government agencies looking into crypto and seeing how they need to change this environment to make it safer for investors. Now, many people will say this is bad because, hey, don't step on our toes. This is the one thing where, we have full control over it. But I would say this, and I hear that argument. Some regulatory clarity, in my opinion, will bring a lot of big money into crypto. A lot of big money. There are so many people sitting on the sidelines because they feel like it's unsafe. Ask people who are not in crypto what their perceptions are of crypto. There will be a lot of negative answers, right? The things you will hear will be, well, it's not very safe. I don't know what it is. It's really not real. I can't even transact with it. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's used for drug money. It's all that, right? All that. So that's the problem. That's why we're only at 5% global adoption. But in the same breath, we're looking at crypto being adopted as fast as the internet was. So we want to keep that going. And in order to do that, I think we do need regulatory clarity because of how big crypto got in 2021. It was an amazing year, and 2020. The last 2 years for crypto were unbelievable. We saw exponential growth. But we need to keep that going. And I think the way we do that is by bringing the 95% of the people who are not invested in crypto into the market. And I think the way to do that is to have some regulatory framework set in place. Now, going back to Michael Barr, the pick for the next Fed vice chairman, he is widely seen as a consumer advocate who will promote tough regulation. He served for a time on the advisory board of crypto firm Ripple. Interesting, right? And so he's familiar with the industry. So we shall see. And again, there's nothing we can do about this. We can sit there and complain about it and say, oh, this is BS, it's terrible. But what's that going to do? Nothing. All we can do is sit here and take in all the information, learn from what we have, and act accordingly. So you'll continue to see me do a lot of content like this on crypto regulation. It will continue to be a hot button topic here in 2022 as they continue to tackle the big question of regulation in crypto. And really, they're starting with stablecoins. That's what I've got for you here in the video. Let me know your thoughts about it down below. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Would appreciate that greatly. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one.